A couple of months ago, I moved to a new city, and it's fair to say that I'm still adjusting. Because when you move, you don't just leave friends and family and memories behind, you're also leaving behind a sense of normalcy. Your day-to-day experience will inevitably change, even if you haven't moved very far or into a very different environment. This is only the second time I've ever moved, and the last time was leaving home for university, and this move was also defined by that kind of next step in life. And when you move somewhere with that kind of goal in mind, you do hope that it will pay off as soon as possible. I would love to define every new day in this city by some kind of adventure, some new thing I explore or discover. But what I really crave right now is that familiarity, that normalcy that I left behind when I moved. Because even though I feel very comfortable here, I like my home, I like my neighborhood, I like the city in general, I also don't feel like I quite belong yet. And that feeling is very hard to achieve because it's a very gradual process to get to that feeling. It will probably take me months and maybe take me years to really get there. And I do want that. I don't want to feel like I just happen to live here. I do want to feel like this is really my home, a place I love and understand. I'm not afraid to admit that I am still somewhat intimidated by this place. There's so much to see, so much to do, so much opportunity and experience around every corner. I mean, I grew up in a village of like 5,000 people, and now I live in the biggest city in my country. It's a lot. Even though I moved here with two of my closest friends, and I know a lot of people in the city, and I'm excited to meet more, genuinely, there is this inescapable feeling of isolation, and the size of the city is only one factor. And the isolation is a double-edged sword, because on one hand, I no longer feel like I could run into someone I know around any corner, which is nice. Moving to a city as expansive as this one in comparison to where I used to live has actually made me more able to focus on myself. But I also miss that sense of community, and I know that eventually I will find that here, and I actually am not trying to replicate the feeling of the last city in the places and people I experience here. I want things to be different here. I want to be different here, and I do feel like I'm getting there. I do feel like I'm making progress, and I haven't felt that sense of personal progress in a very long time because the last city I lived in, I stayed there for 2 years after graduating university during COVID. Not a lot happened. I felt very stuck at a point where I wanted my life to get going. I felt like I was just treading water, and now I'm actually swimming. That metaphor sucks. The point is, moving here has been this abstract concept I've had in my head, this goal I've wanted to hit for so long that actually doing it still doesn't quite feel real. But every day, it's getting easier. It's feeling more real. And I know that as I really make an effort to establish new routines and get settled here, everything will get easier, because everything I'm feeling right now, especially this overwhelming sense that I will never figure it out, is exactly how I felt when I moved to the last city I lived in. So I know that probably very soon, normalcy will be restored. And rather than sit in my apartment and only venture out for groceries, I am trying to enjoy the sense of novelty this place still has. Because when it wears off, and it will, I know that I'll just wonder how I ever felt so out of place. And I just pray that by the time I do feel that way, I won't have to move again.